So when I was in primary school, I think I was doing grade 5, maybe grade 6. Our school had like a beauty pageant, and they would do this almost every year. During Valentine's Day, we would have like beauty pageants, and they would announce the winner, and learners of every grade were allowed to compete. So from grade 5, grade 6 to grade 7, I think, we would compete against each other, and they would choose the winner, of course, after that. So I think I was the youngest. So at that time I was in grade 5, and I had to compete with grade 6 and grade 7. So I decided to join because, as a kid, you love the attention and you just love the whole thing of like the beauty pageant and being a winner and all of that. So it was my first time joining, but then I decided to join, for fun. But one of the interesting things my parents did, the day before we had to compete. So the night before, my mom decided to like dress me up, put makeup on me, and get me ready, like get my spirits ready for the competition. But at the time I didn't see it as that. I saw it as like us preparing for the next day. So yeah, at the time I was so excited. I remember I was super excited that night. I was like, yo, I'm winning this thing the next day. So we even took pictures. I even have the pictures of me of that day. And yeah, man, and at the time I didn't realize how much it helped me with regards preparing for like the actual competition. So the day comes, and obviously I lose because number one, I didn't know anything about modeling. Number two, I was definitely not the best dressed. But one interesting thing is that I can still remember is that I felt like I was so beautiful. Like I felt very beautiful, and I was so shocked and so amazed by the fact that I didn't win, so, and even after losing, I was like, you know what, my day will come, and yeah, and that made me realize that when I think of it now, it made me realize the fact that your surroundings can be very much helpful when it comes to how you see yourself, how you view yourself, and how you take onto the world, especially your parents. So till this day I appreciate that day, even though I did not win, even though I wasn't the winner of the day. But then the night before was so crucial, in such a way that the next day I was like pumped up and ready for everything. And funny enough, I ended up like winning a beauty pageant in high school, and I did tell myself in primary school that, you know what, one day I will win it, and I ended up winning. And that's just an interesting story to tell with regards like being confident and all of that. Our parents play a big role. So why am I telling you guys this story? I'm telling you guys the story to let you know of the fact that besides you not feeling confident in general and you having social anxiety, the people around us also have an effect on how we view ourselves and how we end up acting, you know. So I thought that was an interesting story to start this video off with. My parents could have been those kind of parents who are like, are you sure you can do this? You're so young for this, you know, I don't think you can pull this off. Beauty pageant is not your thing, we don't allow these things, you know. They could have been those kind of parents. They could have seen it as something different, but they chose to like see it as my moment to shine, my happy moment, you know. So I truly appreciate my parents for that, because there were a lot of moments where they encouraged me. I even have a lot of baby pictures and all of that. But then just because my parents are proper, it doesn't mean that other people around me are also proper. And they could, along the way in my life, I did kind of meet people who would try to make me feel bad about myself and make me feel like I'm less than. And I would like to talk about those kind of people and how you guys can stay away from those kind of people. Not basically stay away, but how you guys can respond to the things that they say and the things that they do, basically. So I'm gonna tell you the kind of people to stay away from and how you can basically respond towards their actions and towards their words, because you have no control of what they will do, what they will say, you know, in any moment given. The first group of people, the people who laugh at almost every mistake you make. You trip and fall, they laugh. You make an error, they laugh. You fail at something, they laugh. You lose something, they laugh. You know, I get that sometimes some things are funny, you know, you guys can laugh as friends, but at some point the laughing becomes too much. It gets to a point where they laugh at almost like every mistake you make. So stay away from those kind of people, because it gets to a point where you're afraid of making mistakes, you're afraid of being yourself, your true self, you're afraid of admitting your mistakes, because you know that at the end of the day you become this clown. And you know, it's very important to be surrounded by people who are filled with humility, who are empathetic, and who are emotionally intelligent. Because sometimes you find that people laugh at stuff that they used to laugh about during high school, whereas you guys are now done with high school and all of that, and you know, it's no longer a joke. It's no longer a joke. The second group of people that you have to stay away from, by the way, the people I'm listing is the people who can at some point cause you to have a lot of social anxiety, a lot of doubt, a lot of like basically low self-esteem as time goes on. Because it does happen that in life you meet a person and your self-esteem is very high, and then as you spend more time with that kind of person, your self-esteem can kind of drop because you've spent time with them. So second group, the people who shut down your happy moment. Those kind of people do not like you when you have a spotlight, or do not like the fact that you're on the spotlight. They don't like the fact that you're the center of attention. They always kind of grab that away from you, either by throwing negative comments at you or just literally doing too much so that they are the center of attention. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're in a group setting and you end up like making them laugh. You end up making the group laugh, like throwing in a joke, and they end up laughing because what you said is funny, obviously. And then that person is like, oh, you're a comedian now, you know. And that is a microaggression, and I feel like sometimes some people might take that lightly, but sometimes you get to notice the fact that that person just hates the fact that you've just gotten this attention, you know. You just made a group of people laugh. Those kind of people are, that kind of person is kind of showing you that you're not capable of making a group laugh. This is not you, you know. Why all of a sudden making a group of people laugh? You're trying to be someone else, you know. So how do you deal with these kind of people? Yeah. Firstly, so I'm gonna tell you guys a trick that I sort of use. I've used this trick for the longest time, especially when I don't have like a sassy comeback, you know. Not that I'm encouraging fighting or aggression, I'm just sometimes you need to speak for yourself. You just need to defend yourself, stand your ground, and form boundaries sometimes. So if a person is insulting you, just agree with whatever they're saying. So if, let's say for example, the person is like, oh my gosh, you've gained so much weight, you know, and just reply by saying, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I've gained so much weight, so you're right. You know, oh, you're so ugly. Why are you so ugly? Yeah, I'm ugly as fuck, man, you know. Because they don't usually expect you to have that kind of response towards their comment. And most of them, some of them get surprised. They're like, oh, you know, now they don't know what to say because you agree with them. Okay, yeah, I've gained weight and you've gained weight as well. What are we both gonna do about it? You know? Finally, we agree on something, you know? Because you cannot control what people can say to you and at whatever moment, and sometimes those people can come at the wrong time when you're not well. So it's very important to not let these kind of people to determine your mood, to tear up your mood, to change your mood. Not that I'm saying that as time goes on you'll be able to not be sad when someone says a comment, a bad comment towards you, but as time goes on you learn to be able to process it properly as time goes on. Yes, I might be sad right now if you tell me I look ugly, I look bad or weird. I might be angry now in the moment, but as time goes on and when I'm by myself, because that's the important moment, it's not when you're surrounded by people and when this person is saying this comment in front of people. It's when you're alone and you're thinking about it day and night, you know. But then as you learn to process it, as time goes on, you'll be able to realize that, wait a minute, why would this person say such a thing, you know? They wouldn't say it just to say it, you know. It's not random. Everything happens for a reason. People say anything for a reason. Everything happens for a reason, you know. Just ask yourself, okay, number one, why did they say that, you know? What emotion did they want from me? How did they want me to respond to it? And why am I affected by it? You know, why is it affecting me all of a sudden? And no matter how long it takes, I feel like as time goes on, you'll be able to see yourself the way you want to see yourself. So another way of dealing with this kind of thing is, okay, let's say they have, someone keeps texting me. Okay, let's say they have their moment to shine. They've said this negative comment towards you, and they've said it, and you know, you felt embarrassed in front of people, and they're done, and you guys have sort of moved on as a group. You know, you're talking about a different topic. Call that person aside. Call them aside and be like, Rose, I need to talk to you. Can I talk to you for a second? Call them aside and be like, yo, quick question. Why did you say this and that? Like, what was your aim? What was your, you know? Sometimes some people say bad things and they don't realize how bad it is, and how badly it affected you. So sometimes you might notice that when you call some of them aside and ask them, hey, why did you do that? And then you will see that they get to have their moment of realization. They get to realize that, oh, it was actually horrible, you know. And some people, when you confront them, you realize that they end up being embarrassed. Some people get embarrassed by the fact that you've just reflected the kind of person they are. Some people don't like finding out the kind of people they are, which is very interesting. So I want to read, is it a scripture? I want to read like a scripture for you guys from this book. It's called The Secret. I'm sure a lot of you know it, but I want to read you guys this part. So it's on page 31. No one can tell you whether you are feeling good or bad, because you are the only one who knows how you're doing at any time. If you're not sure how you're feeling, just ask yourself, how am I feeling? You can stop and ask this question often during the day, and as you do, you will become more aware of how you're feeling. The most important thing for you to know is that it is impossible to feel bad and at the same time be having good thoughts. That would defy the law, because your thoughts cause your feelings. If you are feeling bad, it is because you are thinking thoughts that are making you feel bad. Your thoughts determine your frequency, and your feelings tell you immediately what frequency you are on. When you are feeling bad, you are on the frequency of drawing more bad things. The law of attraction must respond by broadcasting back to you more pictures of bad things and things that will make you feel bad. As you feel bad and don't make any effort to change your thoughts and feel better, you are in effect saying, bring me more circumstances that will make me feel bad. Bring it on. I feel like it speaks for itself. I don't have any further descriptions of it. I just thought I should read it for you guys since it relates to what we're talking about today. So very simple. Your thoughts determine how you feel. So if you're feeling bad, you're thinking bad things. You should try and think positively to be able to feel good. And in order for you to be able to have positive thoughts, you have to surround yourself with positive things and positive people. First step is cleaning your room. I swear. So if your room is dirty, get up now and clean it. Pause this video and clean your room and then come back. So let's say your confidence is not affected by people. Let's say you are born with social anxiety. Let's say you're scared of revealing who you are, and excuse me, you're afraid of expressing yourself. So then what do? Let's say you have to do a speech in front of everyone. You have a project that you want to release. You have an album that you want to release. You have plenty of ideas, but then you're scared of being in the spotlight. Yeah. So firstly, I want you to ask yourself why you're afraid of revealing yourself and of showing who you are. Just ask yourself, do you feel ugly? Do you feel untalented, unmotivated? Okay, do you feel ugly? Do you feel untalented? Do you feel unsure? Or you're like me, you feel like your future self deserves more credit for your projects compared to your present self. This is what I suffer from, and I've suffered from it in a long time, because for the longest time I've lived in a world of delusion, in a loophole of thinking that my future self will be stronger, better, smarter, more good looking. Let me tell you that. But then I've come to realize that that's just in my thoughts. Life is the present, and what I've done in the past is just memories, and what I'm gonna do in the future is just in my imaginations. So I formed this sort of AI of myself and my present self is just there, like, hey, what about me? I'm you every day, which is bad, which is sad. So I really need you to ask yourself why. Write it down, like journal it. I know my mom always tells me to journal stuff, and I've been trying to do that more. So journal it and ask yourself, why? Why doesn't Sante, my name is Sante, by the way, why doesn't Sante deserve owning this music album that she's writing? Why doesn't she deserve to look good? Why doesn't she deserve to be stylish? Why doesn't she deserve to release this project? Ask yourself why. What are you scared of? What are you afraid of? I know that you do sometimes sort of think of something when you have a plan. There's always something that pushes you back, and I'm gonna need you to fight that sort of spirit back. Fight it with all your means, with all your beings. I'm gonna give you guys an example. For the longest time, I've always been afraid of standing up at church and speaking. I know that it's almost everybody's fear, but my grandpa is a pastor, and he recently started this thing of forcing me to stand up and talking in front of people at church. At first, the left side of my arm, my left arm was numb from the freaking social anxiety I had. So the first few days I was super scared, but then as time went on, I started looking at how people are reacting to what I'm saying. I started realizing that it makes sense to them. Whatever I'm saying, it literally makes sense to them. I even get credit after church. They're like, oh, that was good, wow. But before standing up, I thought, ooh, what am I going to tell these people? Now it's very easy for me to stand up and talk. I'm no longer afraid. And even if I am afraid, I feel afraid, I stand up anyways because I'm used to that fear. I'm used to that feeling. So it never gets away, it never goes away, but as time goes on, you're able to manage it. You're able to do the task even though you're feeling that feeling. I guess that's how it feels to live with anxiety. You sort of go on with life, do stuff, you know. Before I used to, I need to sit down, you know, I need some water. In the words of Oscar Wilde, art is the most serious thing in the world, and the artist is never serious. Let me repeat that. Art is the most serious thing in the world, but the artist is never serious. No one is gonna take your art seriously if you don't take it seriously yourself. Ain't nobody worried about that. Nobody cares. Okay, you can draw, you can sing, you know, you can act, you can dance, but no one will care if you don't. No one will encourage you. In fact, you're lucky if you have someone that encourages you. And as time goes on, they will stop encouraging you because you're not serious about it. You're not an artist unless you have evidence to prove it. You are not, you know. So try to push yourself. Try to enjoy the process of doing it, and that includes speaking in front of people and doing something in front of people. Just go on with it and see what happens. Along with the fear, do it. But if the fear is too much, take a break and breathe, man. Have positive thoughts. But then if the fear is just, you just have butterflies, just go on with it. You know, you'll get used to it. As time goes on, you'll get used to it, you know. So release that video. Release the damn album. Listen to me. Let me get close to you. Release the album. Okay? I hope you hear me. And if you guys have released something, you've written something, you release a song, you release a video, let me know and let me check it out. We all care about ourselves. Okay? What do I mean by this? If you go on a date, yeah, your date mostly cares about himself and how he presents himself towards you. He doesn't care that you're wearing red lipstick, you're wearing a fringe wig, or wearing heels or whatever. He's just worried about himself. And so is everyone in this world. Everyone, including your parents. And let's say you're in high school and you're scared of like standing in front of people and doing something in front of people. Just remember that in 3 or 4 years, they would have forgotten about the event. I don't remember everything that happened in high school. In fact, I don't remember how everyone did their speech. When they stood in front of us and they presented a speech, and I don't remember a single thing. And I matriculated in 2019, so it's not so long ago. But then I don't remember. I wouldn't say, Sandile was funny, you know. No, I'm not focused on the present. I'm not focused on what I'm doing now. Try to be yourself. And remember, at the end of the day, we're all gonna die.